Hey everyone, how's it going? This is Daniel with Edmonds Campsite. So today I have a special product here that I want to share with you. Now, as you know, my channel is based off of anything that I find interesting out there. I want to share with you. So today I have a product pertaining to a board game. Now this board game is called The Final Girl. Yes, The Final Girl. So I played a few board games in my time, and this is by far one of my favorite board games. Now, not only is it one of my favorite board games, but it's also a solo game. As you know, there's a lot of times when it's really challenging to get your friends together, and this board game gives you that opportunity to play solo. What's cool about this board game is part of the horror genre, which is pretty much based off of movies that have come out back in the day, like Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, and Poltergeist, and all these other movies that you've heard about back in the past. And what's cool about it is they integrated those movies into a solo board game, which you could play on your own and try to be that final girl. Now, the concept of this board game is to kill the killer and survive the night or the day or whatever it is according to the game scenario, and it pretty much builds itself up to the point where you're finally towards the end and things start escalating and really start getting, the game starts really getting aggressive and trying to kill you, but you try to kill the killer before it escalates to a certain level. And what's pretty cool about this game is that there's all these other type of games that come with this core box. Now, the core box, you can't play this game without a core box. So this is the first thing you got to buy. You know, it gives you the event cards, some terror cards, all these other cards that are going to be your movement cards and your event cards, your action cards pretty much. But it literally gives you the basics to the board game. Now, what's cool about it is that with The Final Girl, there's a season 1 which comes with all these cassettes, like this one right here. This game is Hans, you know, the butcher at Camp Happy Trails, and this is pretty much the initial board game that you could, you know, find out there, that you're the startup one. Now there's all these other parts of the game, and again, you got to get this first before you start getting the actual games like this one, and they cost $20. Like this one's a Final Girl, and it's Dr. Fright. You know, it's like the Freddy. Now, what comes in these boxes are pretty much your map and your killer, you know, board here, which obviously they're pretty cool because these are the actual box, the covers of the box. They're magnetic right here, and they're magnetic, and they come off and they get placed on this mat or on the table, and that's pretty much how you're set. So these two things right here are actually the box, which is a pretty cool concept. And this is again Dr. Fright, which is in reference to Nightmare on Elm Street. It's kind of like the Nightmare on Elm Street concept. Again, they made these games based off of, you know, old school movies like Nightmare on Elm Street. This one's like almost like Jason, right? Friday the 13th. And then you got a new one here, which is called Madness in the Dark. So currently with this recording, season 2 has come out with Final Girl, because in season 1 there's about like 4 or 5 of these games at $20 a piece. This was about like $20 itself. And then the board here, this is a pretty cool little mat right here, and this is separate. You don't have to get this to play the game, but it comes in this box right here. Yeah, so it was like about $20-30 for this one. But what's pretty cool about it is like a, you know, video cassette player right there, and then you got these things right here that are like your DVD players. But it all comes down to be opened up and play as a board game, you know, as a game. And what I like about this game, board game, again, it's solo. It's a solo board game you could play, and I played it once already, and man, I just fell in love with this board game, because the scenarios that you encounter when you're playing this game, it kind of makes it feel like an actual movie, like you're going through the whole, hey, you know, if you go this way, they're gonna go that way, and you know, once the killer kills someone, you know, the victims that are in that spot, they end up panicking and they end up running to different directions, which is based off of how you roll your dice. Now we'll get more into that stuff as we go forward, and I wanted to go ahead and share this with you, this initial introduction to what I'm gonna be playing and probably creating content for. I'm looking forward to going through this experience with you. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to create a piece of content on my own on how to play this game, but for now I just wanted to go ahead and share this board game with you initially, so you know what's out there. It's a pretty cool game, and I'm looking forward to having great adventures, you know, in creating this content with you, and excited. So again, the final girl, and I'll catch you on the flip side.